Man, I missed that blue shirt in the intro. That blue checkered shirt. That was a cool shirt. I wish I knew where that went.
Yeah, that's funny.
Hey man, how are you?
I'm good, but you caught me. I'm frantically trying to get one thing in,
I know.
because it's important. So I just okay, somebody get me, and I'm like, okay, now I'm done for the whole rest of the time. It's all good. So hey, let me ask you. Tell me about your hat. You wear that hat a lot. When you
Well,
wear that hat?
it's Q&A day, so that's a fair question. This is my hat that I wear when my hair is unpresentable.
Ah, gotcha.
But I will say, I mean, I'm an old musician, and hats were just part of the gig. And
Yeah.
I also own a convertible, and it's a 1975 Delta 88, no, Oldsmobile Delta 88 convertible, big old boat. So this hat just kind of fits with that whole thing, and yeah, so I like
It
it.
works. Yeah, it
I mean, I
works.
wear it this way sometimes, but
Oh, yeah.
this is more old
That's more,
guy.
yeah, old guy convertible.
Yeah, and this is more like old musician. So
There you go. Old either way.
yep, old either way. But
Well, thanks, Chuck. I appreciate the like, the thumbs up. We're glad you guys are all here today. We're going to have a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a good show. Uh, so, we didn't get a lot of questions this time, but we have a few. So, I may bring up a few things as well, just things that I've gotten in the past that we might want to answer. So, we'll just kind of go from there. But I thought this one was really interesting. Um, Somebody had said that they were at the convention and they heard us talk about all the AI tools and all the new ones coming online all the time. And the question is, what has been the most impactful new AI tool you've seen thus far? And then, Carter, I'm going to ask you first, and then I'm going to say, and why?
hmm, this is a tough question because right now, every AI tool or software company that's launching, so you've got two categories, right? You've got people like ChatGPT and Claude, and they're Midjourney for images, and others that are doing like very specific, narrow focused, like we do this thing, we do it really well, but that's what we do. And so, I mean, ChatGPT is incredibly versatile. Midjourney can create all sorts of images, but um, that's what it is. It's an image generator. It's
Mhm.
a content or text
Right,
generator.
right.
So it's really hard to say, like, most impactful. It kind of depends on like what you need, like the work that you do. Like for us, Chat GPT is probably still pound for pound the most impactful one that we use on a daily basis, or certainly that I use on a daily basis. I've been in it all day today, and it's helped me write code. It's helped me write boilerplate for service agreement. It's there's just any number, personal email correspondence. I just needed a starting point, and then I edited it in order to customize it for what I needed.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's pound for pound. That's still pretty good, uh, impactful tool. But there's so many of them out there, and the other category of tools are the companies that already have a solution, like already have a CRM or have some sort of automation platform, and they're starting to bake in AI into those tools for you to be able to use and do various things. And those are really cool too, because now you've got a multi-purpose tool that's doing a lot of functions, but you've got AI layered over the top of it to help you with parts of it. And
Yeah.
so far, a lot of that has just been content related, like when you need content written or when you need an image generated and that sort of thing. But just recently, our development partners with Customermatic have released a an AI into their workflow. So for the first time,
Mm.
we have the ability to start using AI to build things and take actions.
Oh,
So
wow.
And that is probably going to end up being like, if you ask me in another 2 or 3 weeks, I'm still testing it. I've put it through its paces in a couple of cases or applications, and it's brilliant. But this could absolutely speed up the work that we do here and create a very intelligent helper in businesses that need somebody to man the automations and understand what's going on at any given point so that it can make those handoffs a little bit better. Because right now, we do what's called attended automation, right? Or attended,
Right.
On attended automation. That's really the term we use. So it's like, we work with the automation, we trigger the automation, we tell manually tell the automation when to start, and then the automation runs. But the automation itself, is usually mostly pretty dumb. I mean, it just does it goes through a set of steps that are predefined, right? A procedure that is predefined. But if something happens along the way, like a customer replies to an email, well, we need to know what that email reply said. We need to know what that was about. And based on the answer, let's take, for example, like a estimate follow-up message.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is so-and-so from such and such company, just following up to see if you have any questions about the estimate that we provided to you. Please let us know when you get a chance. And if you're no longer interested, let us know so that we're not bothering you with our follow-ups anymore. Typical message that we would send out or that a company would send out. When a customer gets that, well, how are they going to answer? I mean, they could reply back and say, yeah, I just haven't had a chance to really talk to my husband about it because he's been on a business trip, but he should be home this weekend. I'll try to get back to you later next week. Right. Well, our dumb automation, or, the way automations have typically been designed, doesn't understand what that means and has no way of parsing that text and knowing, okay, what's the appropriate next step here? Or if someone replies and says, yeah, we decided to go with someone else. You were just too expensive. Thanks very much. Or if they reply and say, yes, everything looks good. We got our financing straightened out. We're ready to start this project. What do you need from me? Right. All of those are different messages, and each one of them require a different action to take place next. Mm-hmm. Right. Conditions. And so this AI is able to actually understand what the response is from the customer and then take it on a journey based on the answer to that email. And it suddenly becomes a very smart partner inside the automation who can hands off. I mean, so that our clients don't have to do any manual, tending to it after they stick it in. The AI is capable of doing some of that now for them. So personally, that's kind of a long-winded way of saying, I think the future is exactly that. I see the future as being AI attended automation, where AI is making certain decisions based on what you tell it you want it to do for you. Right. And it's doing those things on your behalf. And when that happens, it's going to be the biggest game changer I think we've ever seen in digital marketing and in business operations. It's coming so fast. It's just like screaming. You know how you can hear the race car down on the other end of the track coming your way? Yeah. It's just, like right there. So
yeah. No, I mean it's wild. I mean, it really is, and I'm going to say two things. So the first one is Facebook. Not so much that what they've come out with right now is like the end all be all, because it's really not. It's just another LLM, which is a language model. Yeah. But it does images as well. It's kind of a mix between language and Midjourney, and it's really interesting because when you type in what you want as an image, you can see it as you type change. It's fascinating in that way. So
I heard that, and I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, but that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting and different, but it's what Zuckerberg has said he wants to do. So, and I know that this is where I get things backwards. You're going to have to help me. So you've got the language models, you got the image models, you have the video models, you have all these things that do different things. But he wants to have artificial general intelligence, which basically means you have an attendant with you all the time that can do pretty much anything you want it to do. And he's already got the glasses, Ray-Ban glasses, he's got them hooked up to. They've already done
heads up displays and stuff and all that.
Yeah. And so, that was like, wow. I mean, that's just like, whoo, okay. I mean, but that's what Facebook or Meta, I guess you should say, is really going for, is that artificial general intelligence.
Well, and that's a very specific term in the world of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Artificial general intelligence is a term that is not incredibly well understood. In other words, some people use it a little bit differently than others, but the general agreement on that term is that the way you measure whether or not you've got something that is a general intelligence is whether or not it is equal to a average human being's intellectual and capabilities in terms of actions. So if it can do things, not just in terms of like words on a page or words on a screen, but if it can take actions or understands how to take those actions and set a certain task in motion to be completed by others who can take those actions, or other agents like AI agents or robotic agents or whatever, then it is capable of, it's really defined as being artificial general intelligence. But that's a big thing. I mean, that's where you get into, I wish I could clone myself. I've said that for years.
I know.
Well, artificial general intelligence would essentially clone your abilities, very quickly to be able to do what you need it to do. So, I think that's what everybody is kind of shooting for, but I think Zuckerberg is more honest about what it is he's really trying for.
Yeah.
Versus a lot of them, which are saying, "Oh, well, no, we're years from doing that. We're not really pursuing that." That's
Yeah, he's actually saying that's what we're doing. So I agree with that. And then the second one, I was just on a webinar every couple of weeks or whatever, the people we partnered with Jenny. And one of the things that he was talking about what the Jenny bot is going to be able to do in really pretty shortly is having conversations, which is great. You have those conversations, but he also talked about they'll be able to make phone calls. They'll be able to answer calls. They'll be able to get on Zoom meetings with people. They'll be able to, like, if I know a lot of companies in the service industry try to get people to put a picture up to see what's wrong with it. So it's like having somebody do a picture up, and Jenny can scan that picture and understand what it is, and then let the people know at the company as well as the client, oh, this is what's wrong with it. We absolutely can fix this. Let's set up an appointment, blah, 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 blah. And that's just brilliant. Those kind of things are coming, and I'm telling you, they are coming fast. I'm kind of like you. Every day I feel like I feel a breeze where something else got released. Something else got released. It just feels that way. It was just nuts.
Yeah, it really does.
So, hey, I want to Razel Rana. I don't know that person, but welcome. Glad you're here, Terry. Glad you're here again. That's great. Glad to have all of you here. We really appreciate y'all doing this. We have some comments. Are you monitoring those before we go on?
I did, yeah. Mike Ellis said, I need that. That was back when we were talking about artificial general intelligence and the ability to clone yourself. And totally agree. I'm right there with you, Mike. I'm here for that.
Well, not only that, the robots that they're making too, that will be able to do all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And get on roofs so that now you don't have any problem with, what is it? I should know this.
OSHA compliance.
Yeah, OSHA compliance and stuff. Because now you have a robot that climbs the ladder and gets on the roof and does all the work. I mean, just think about that. I mean, that's just, it sounds like science fiction. And it kind of really is science fiction, but we're moving into, when I was a kid, going to the moon was science fiction, and now we're there, and all kinds of stuff.
Well, I think it's we're still quite a few years away from the robots who can do plumbing and
Oh yeah.
Carpentry and auto mechanic repair and that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I expect that eventually when electronics and motors and things like that, all the servos and the stuff that they would need to use for that become so fine tuned that you can couple that with AI and get pretty good results, then it'll come. But I don't know what the timeline is on that. I mean, I'm more focused on the knowledge work side. Like, how do we apply AI intelligently within offices and for business applications, that are more business logic kind of concerns. And that's, that's where I think that's what's going to be disrupted first,
Oh yeah. I just kind of keep up because I got friends that are really geekies, I got some geek friends way geekier than me, and they're talking about all these things that we're going to have, like robot armies and flying through the air, and it sounds like a Marvel movie. It's just kind of wild.
It's not outside the pale of normal reaction to want to go buy property and build a bunker.
Yeah, that's true. Mark Hudson is here as well. So glad you're here, Mark. So what is the difference when someone searches in Google as opposed to an AI search? So I guess you want me to take this one.
Yeah, take this one if you would.
Yeah. So search in what I'm going to call a just search engine, whether it's Google, Yahoo, Firefox, it doesn't matter, whatever, pick your search engine. That's always been around keywords and keyword phrases. So anytime somebody goes and types in, I don't know, HVAC near me, I've got an air conditioner issue, something like that, then they try to take whatever the person put in and match it to something on somebody's website that says, hey, this is what this person does. Well, that was, way back in the old days, 10 years ago. Yeah. And then Google started really working on what's called systemic search, to where they started to be able to see that when somebody puts in, my air conditioning's broke, that also means HVAC. It means all these other things that they could have put in. And so it kind of goes across and finds those companies that they feel is the best deal and brings those up. And that's where we are right now. So your typical search is really a search that, keywords, long tail, keywords, phrases, that's all still there. But we don't address it like we do a human being. And that's really the way that I like to explain it. I don't look at Carter and go, HVAC near me. I don't talk to him that way. And so really the difference is with AI is you actually engage with an AI and talk to it very much like you talk to a person. I mean, it's like, hi, how are you doing today? Well, I'm doing fine. How are you? I'm great. Can you help me with blah, 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 blah. Or I've got a problem in my house and I don't know who to call. Well, tell me what the problem is. Well, the problem is blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, here's a couple of companies that in your area that may be able to help you. I mean, that's the difference between how someone would search in a traditional search as opposed to an AI search. And all the search engines right now, the ones that matter, which Bing and Google are really the main two, but Facebook's a search engine. And they've got the AI, like I said, that does, or Meta, I should say, with Facebook. And it's integrated into Facebook. It's integrated into Instagram. It's fixing to be integrated into the business side of Facebook, where you can do all your ads and all that kind of stuff if it's not already. So there's a lot of things at Facebook that AI that Meta has. Messenger is another place they're integrating it. So, that's the same deal. So it's the same with the AI search. You just talk to it. You tell it what you want it to do, just like it's a person sitting right next to you. You ask it, hey, I need you to do X, Y, Z. Can you handle that? Yeah, either I can or I can't. And then, you go from there. So hopefully that's a decent explanation of that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm muted because my dog is barking like crazy in the background. So I'm going to shut my door real quick.
Okay.
I want to go on to the next question.
You can. So the next question is, why are there so many made-up companies in Google Business Profiles? So this has been a really big issue probably for the last year. There's a lot of companies that are coming in, not only in Google Business Profile, but they're doing it in LSAs, which are local service ads. And they're also doing it in organic search. And they just make up companies and they throw up an AI website on organic search. They make up companies. I don't know how they're getting through Google Business Profile right now, because that's gotten really, really difficult to do. If you're doing it the right way. Now, I have a sneaking suspicion that there's a back door somewhere that somebody's figured out and they're just putting stuff up. But Google is adamant about getting rid of all these crazy companies that are doing this. They in everybody's mind, and this is true, and this is the hard part, about as quick as Google can find them and get rid of them, then more pop up. So this is something that we all have to kind of help Google with. It's just one of those things we have to, get into and notify them. I mean, there's ways on that website. You get in their profile, you can notify Google that this is closed, this doesn't exist. We need to do that more and more. And the more of us that do that, the more we can get rid of. What I find is people look at it and all they want to do is gripe about it. They really don't want to do anything about it. And they call us and say, can y'all go do something? Well, we can do so much, but as soon as we get rid of them, then guess what? They come again. So it's an ongoing issue. I don't know how Google is going to address this and finally get rid of it. There's problems in reviews. I mean, I've seen people steal. I mean, there was a company that I probably saw it 4 months ago or so. It was at the end of last year. There are people I know, companies I know, this company had no relation to, stole all their reviews and put them up. Didn't change the name, didn't change the company, didn't change anything, and just took their reviews and put them up as if they're theirs on Google Business Profile. How Google didn't catch that, I have no idea. But that's one of the ones that, we turned in. And yeah, it's bad. It can be bad. And Google says they're doing it. They said they rolled one of the fixes out. I don't know how good it is. I probably need to talk to Aaron and find out. But yeah, it's a problem. Google's aware of the problem. We just have to kind of wait for them to get to it.
It's pest control. I mean, it really is. It's just, when you got a roach infestation, you got to call the pest control guy, and he comes out and he sprays every other week and stays diligent and, give preventative maintenance. And then when there's a flare up or when there's seasonal problems or whatever, you just jump on it again and stay on top of it. But it requires constant vigilance and, but these people, they're cockroaches. Let's just be honest. I mean, I don't like to dehumanize anyone. It's not something I do very often, but this kind of behavior is just, they are pests.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. And as you said that, I was thinking about the Cook's Pest Control commercial where the guy's eating the dog food and he's a pest. I mean, that's the way it feels. It's just, what? Again? Are you kidding me? Yeah, that kind of a deal. So it is what it is.
Yep.
So stay tuned, guys. We're probably next week we'll have a big announcement. But if you are a customer of ours, a client, then you're going to be, you need to watch your email, because tomorrow you're going to get an email that you're kind of going to get it on it early of the big announcement. So I'm just saying, watch your email. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. So does anybody here? You see, Aaron also recommended to report these made-up companies, but not to use your own business name to report them. Report them using a personal email name. Yes. Thank you, Terry, for bringing that up. That's exactly right. Because that, if they think a business is turning in another business, they think it might be nefarious. So you got to be careful about that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Terry. Appreciate that. Anybody else got any other questions? I mean, that was it for the time, but we spent all of 26 minutes answering 3 questions. There you go. We must be long-winded. All right, let's just, we're long-winded. So, okay, no other questions. So here we go. Spark Live is also released as a podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Podvine, or your favorite player. Next week, what are we going to talk about? Oh, what is that? Next week, it's not coming up. It won't let me bring it up. We'll let you bring it up. There it goes. There it goes. Website and password security. Okay, there's a reason we're bringing this up, and it's AI. Again, we're going to talk about some of the downsides of what we have to be really careful about with AI, because it's kind of, there's great things about it, and then there's not so great things about it. So
yeah. No, it can enable a lot of stuff, good and bad. So we need to talk about the security side, some of the implications of what's happening. So
So thank you guys for being here. Again, if you're a client of ours, keep your eye on your email tomorrow. You're going to get a email that's going to have some great news, I think, for you. And we'll just say goodbye from there and see you all next week. Really, really glad y'all all came. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.